Welcome to Wealth Magnet, your source for all things related to living your best financial life through education, motivation, and mentorship. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification button. Also, we appreciate all our viewers and want to hear from you. Please leave us a comment, a question, or even a suggestion. We love to engage with our audience. We release 5 videos per week meant to inspire and teach. Okay, now back to the topic at hand. Have you heard the phrase that money is the root of all evil? That may be true in some cases, but an even worse evil is having too much bad debt. What is bad debt, you may ask? You know, credit card debt, student loan debt, auto loans, payday loans. When you're drowning in debt, you have a feeling of hopelessness in your life. Because if you struggle to pay off your debts, they continue to accumulate because of this little thing called interest. However much you borrow, you are going to end up paying back more and sometimes a lot more. Bad debts in the United States have reached critical mass. The total consumer debt has reached over $17 trillion, an astounding figure especially when you figure the entire US. GDP is slightly above $23 trillion, which basically means that the entire economy revolves around debt. But all the news surrounding debt is not horrible, because not all debt is bad debt. In fact, some people use debt to make a lot of money and maintain their wealth. Now if you have thousands in credit card debts and never-ending payday loans, you may be thinking, how in the world can any debt be good? It is important to understand that even people with significant wealth utilize debt to further increase their cash flow. And yes, the idea of wealthy individuals using debt may contradict the notion that debt is meant for those who lack financial resources, but that's not how capitalism works. Debt is a very powerful tool if you know how to leverage it, and in this video, you will discover how rich individuals employ it to generate even more wealth. Borrowing money to start a business is generally considered a bad idea. However, in certain cases, particularly for traditional businesses, it may be the best choice available. Let's consider an import business. Maybe you want to sell printing paper. Printing paper is a commonly used product with consistent demand. Ideally, one would travel to China to find a reputable factory producing high-quality printing paper at the right price. Purchasing a container of printing paper, shipping them to the US, and distributing the finished product to clients could be a solid business. Nowadays, this process is largely conducted online through platforms like Alibaba, unless the product is more complex, requiring a visit to the factory. But here's the interesting part. You don't actually have to pay for the products up front. Let me explain how this works. Over the past 50 years, China has become the world's factory, manufacturing practically everything. Countless factories operate around the clock to produce all the goods the world needs. To facilitate sales, many of these factories are willing to lend their products to prospective buyers, with the agreement that payment will be made later rather than now. Naturally, they won't lend to just anyone. This has been the standard practice in the import/export business for the past 5 decades. Once the client sells the product in the US or elsewhere, they would then pay the factory and borrow more products. Essentially, you are demonstrating to the factory that you can help them sell their product, while at the same time securing a nice profit for your business. This strategy is advantageous because it allows you to conduct business without using your own funds. Therefore, developing sales skills is very crucial in maximizing success using this method. Another debt that rich people love: mortgages. It is not uncommon for very wealthy people to take out mortgages for not only their primary residences, but also vacation homes and other properties. Mortgages offer multiple benefits including tax savings and freeing up money that can be used for other investments and properties. We often hear about our favorite celebrity or hedge fund manager buying these multi-million-dollar homes on the coast for all cash. Don't be fooled. Most of these transactions involve a mortgage that has been arranged through private banking. Now, let me explain a practical method by which wealthy individuals typically accumulate wealth in real estate. Let's imagine you have saved $200,000, which admittedly is a significant sum. However, it may not be sufficient to purchase a house outright. Nonetheless, you can obtain a mortgage of up to $800,000 by making a 20% down payment. Here's the secret. Suppose you come across a property priced at $500,000 that is in poor condition and requires substantial renovation. You approach a bank and secure a mortgage by making a 20% down payment. Let's assume you spend around $50,000 on renovating the property. When you obtained your initial mortgage, the value of the property was only $500,000, since it was in such poor condition that no one wanted to live there. However, After renovating it, the market value of the property increases, let's say, to $700,000. When you apply for refinancing, you may qualify for an 80% mortgage. 80% of $700,000 is $560,000. Out of that money, $400,000 will go to your first bank that provided the initial mortgage and will deduct another $50,000 that you spend on renovations. This leaves you with an additional profit of $110,000. You have made $110,000 through this process, and you still own a property that you can rent out to build equity and generate passive income. Furthermore, having a mortgage allows you to deduct the interest that you are paying on the mortgage. This is a really good example of utilization of good debts. At Wealth Magnet, we want to know, have you ever used credit cards to purchase an investment? Please share your thoughts and experiences in the comment section below. Let's be honest, hedge funds were made by rich people for rich people to make rich people even more rich. Their strategies often differ from those of regular investors who strive to predict and invest in growing companies. Hedge funds, on the other hand, often employ more diverse methods, aiming to profit from the decline or bankruptcy of companies. The GameStop incident is a notable example where the internet challenged hedge funds and caused them to suffer a loss of over $13 billion. Now, let's explore how hedge funds make money through debt. Imagine you anticipate a decline in the stock price of a certain company, such as Facebook. You are aware that Apple, the producer of the popular iPhone, is planning to restrict apps like Facebook and Instagram from tracking users' online activity, prioritizing privacy. This move could significantly harm Facebook's business model. In response, you contact your broker and borrow a single Facebook stock, valued at $100, which you immediately sell on the market for the same price. Congratulations! You now have $100 in your possession, but you still owe your broker one Facebook stock. Suppose your prediction was correct, and the following week, the price of Facebook stock drops to $70. You utilize your $100 to purchase one Facebook stock at the reduced price and return it to your broker, pocketing the $30,000 difference. In essence, you have profited by shorting the stock. While this may sound simple in theory, it is an exceedingly challenging and risky practice in reality. What if your prediction is incorrect and the stock price unexpectedly doubles overnight? In such a scenario, you still need to return the borrowed stock to your broker and pay interest for utilizing it. Now, you must purchase the stock back at a price of $200 to fulfill this obligation. When you buy a stock and attempt to sell it for a profit as it rises, your potential losses are limited to the amount you invested. However, in the case of shorting, there is no theoretical limit to the losses you can incur if the stock price continues to rise indefinitely. Hedge funds, often with the assistance of hundreds of analysts and unlimited financial resources, this strategy can potentially yield immense fortunes for them and their clients. Forex simply is a market where currencies are exchanged, enabling international trade. For instance, if you want to use US dollars in China, you would need to purchase Chinese yen to pay your employees. This market allows anyone, whether individuals or companies, to buy foreign currencies. Various factors influence the fluctuations of these currencies. Like, if the Federal Reserve increases interest rates, it can reduce the supply of dollars in the market, thereby strengthening the US dollar against other currencies. By accurately predicting which currencies will rise or fall, one can potentially earn substantial profits in this market. However, what sets Forex apart from other markets is the ability to leverage your trades. For each dollar you use in Forex trading, you can borrow an additional $100. This means that if you trade with $1,000, you can hold a position worth $100,000. Consequently, even a small profit, such as 1%, can result in a significant gain, emphasizing the potential lucrative nature of Forex trading. Lastly is credit score, both business and personal. The credit score is utilized by lenders worldwide to determine your financial credibility. Successful businesses and entrepreneurs are careful to maintain excellent credit scores. Borrowing money to finance purchase orders is a common practice among businesses. Instead of thinking negatively about debt, it's important to consider that high-interest debts like credit card debts are undesirable. To secure a lower interest rate, it is necessary to minimize the risks associated with lending money. How can you achieve that? By establishing a track record as a reliable borrower. Banks have billions, if not trillions, of dollars waiting to be borrowed. Well, there you have it. Those are some of the ways on how rich people stay rich using debt, and you can too. You should not be afraid of debt. Learn how to make it work in your favor and help you build wealth. If you found this video helpful and informative, please give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, consider subscribing to Wealth Magnet and turning on notifications. See you in the next video.